Let's start with the numbers, because numbers don't have feelings, but they definitely tell a story. As of today, October 17, 2025, ICE is holding approximately 59,000 people in detention centers across the country. This isn't just a high number, it's a record high. Think about that for a second. That's more people than can fit into Yankee Stadium, all locked up, not for committing a serious crime, but for immigration reasons. Recent court rulings are chipping away at protections for people from countries like Haiti, Venezuela, making their future here incredibly uncertain. This is happening right now, in real time. These aren't just abstract statistics. If you think immigration enforcement has always been this intense, think again. What we're witnessing in 2025 is a significant escalation. The surge in ICE detention numbers is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind that 59,000 figure is a massive, well-oiled machine designed to find, detain, remove people. Increased funding for ICE operations, deployment of tactical units, military-style training in neighborhoods across the country. It treats immigration as a threat to be neutralized rather than a human reality to be managed. This creates a climate of constant fear, pushing people into the shadows. This enforcement isn't random. Let's talk about something called Temporary Protected Status, or TPS. It sounds solid, right? Protected. But in 2025, temporary is the only word that seems to matter. TPS is a program that allows people from countries experiencing armed conflict, environmental disasters, other extraordinary conditions to live and work legally in the U.S. For years, it has been a lifeline for hundreds of thousands of people, including large communities of Haitians, and more recently, Venezuelans. It's not a path to citizenship, but it's a path to stability. It allows people to get a driver's license, pay taxes, and build a life without the constant fear of deportation. Now imagine that lifeline being cut. That is exactly what has been happening. We've touched on the numbers, but it's crucial to understand why Black migrants are so overrepresented in the deportation system. It's not because they commit more crimes or have weaker asylum claims. It's because the system itself is set up to target them more aggressively. As we noted, 5% versus 20% on criminal contact-based deportations. This isn't a statistical fluke. It is the outcome of choices. It's the result of policing patterns, prosecutorial decisions, and immigration enforcement priorities that converge to create a higher risk profile for Black immigrants. This process often starts at the local level. Decades of data show Black communities are more heavily policed, more likely to be stopped, questioned, and arrested for minor offenses. Just when you thought the system couldn't get any more bizarre, let's talk about third country deportations. This sounds like something out of a dystopian novel, but it's a real policy being used in 2025. Here's how it works. The US government makes a deal with another country, let's say Ghana. But here's the catch. These deportees may not be from Ghana. They could be from anywhere in West Africa. They could be from the Caribbean. They are people who have built lives in the United States, sometimes for many years. They are now being shipped to a country where they have no family, no connections, and no legal status. Imagine being put on a plane and dropped off in a place you've never been, where you don't know anyone, and may not even speak the local language. The effects of these harsh federal immigration policies don't just stay at the border or inside detention centers. They ripple outwards, disrupting cities and towns across America. In 2025, local governments are being forced to deal with the fallout. Take Los Angeles County, for example. The Board of Supervisors declared a local state of emergency, not for an earthquake or a fire, but because intensified ICE raids created a human crisis. They recognized federal actions were destabilizing families, overwhelming social services, and creating pervasive fear. When a parent is detained or a breadwinner loses TPS, economic catastrophe follows. LA's emergency included funding for rent relief and for legal aid. Evictions are a major concern. Families once stable suddenly can't pay bills and face homelessness. Emergency legal services have skyrocketed as people fight orders or apply for relief. Local charities, food banks, and legal aid clinics are stretched to the breaking point. So the situation is grim. The numbers are high. The policies are harsh. The human cost is immense. It can feel overwhelming. But being overwhelmed is not a strategy. Know where to focus your attention. Right now, watch the courts. Key decisions on the future of TPS, parole programs, and similar rulings. These cases are moving through the legal system. Timelines for rulings are critical. They determine whether hundreds of thousands can stay in their homes or will be pushed into the shadows. Next, watch federal agencies. Follow ICE announcements. Follow Department of Homeland Security updates. New rules are often published quietly, but they change life on the ground. Keep an eye on local actions.